The clock on the wall says it's 11 o'clock sharp. And that says it's time for another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates, host of today's presentation. And you're logged on to WINN FM 98.9. In case you don't know, we want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the globe because you're in different time zones and you're still part of this program. So thank you for listening. I want to send a quick shout out to Eustace Henderson, Chris Collins, Val Moniz, Derek Refrates, Rosemary Donald, Jennifer Richards, Sister Sylvian Henry, Culture, Beulah, and all my colleagues in the taxi fraternity. We're going to have a very interesting discussion this morning. But first, we do pause to give credit to sponsors, and we'll be right back.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Where you have an opportunity to suggest solutions to problems.
Funky. This is the big one with a message for the nation. Of all the many calling programs in my country, if you want to talk popularity, it's 98.9 WINN FM. Voices with Mr. Paul Ferguson. Calling on any topic you choose. He invites you to express your views, but you're not to call people's names, to slander or defame. But here's where the thing get controversial. Try telling him things really crucial. Even though you are armed with the fact, he tell you plain that he can't substantiate that. At our state-of-the-art health center, there was no backup generator, and so due to a power failure, a baby died in the incubator. Same time doctors in the theater performing a real delicate procedure. But before the caller could explain further, in jumps the moderator and he said, I can't substantiate that. I really can't substantiate that. Does it really mean it is not a fact? All because Fergie can't substantiate. Come again, I can't substantiate that. I really can't substantiate that. Does it mean it is not a fact? All because Fergie can't substantiate that. Play the song. Every day you would hear Yvonne Woodley Palm speak to electoral reform, campaigning for voters ID, so people can vote fraudulently. Right away Cecil Big Stone would call, he supporters I be at all. Alton DuPont would call to protest. Government denied him land to invest, but then the topic turned to power outage.
What we can substantiate is that it's another beautiful day within the Twin Island Paradise of St. Kitts at Nevis for Eustace and the guys out there who are wondering what's the weather like at home. It's a bit cloudy, scattered showers, a strong breeze. Another beautiful day in my Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we're within the studios of WINN FM 98.9, about to get into another presentation of Voices with a very special guest. Normally at the top of the programs, I would normally hail out a number of persons. One of the names I would hail out is Brenda O'Neill. I refer to her as a friend of the Federation. So for those who have seen us live and direct, you are looking at the lady in person, Mrs. Brenda O'Neill, visiting once again. I think when she leaves today, she's going to go straight to a flight. So it is taking out of her time to come and sharing with us in the little chit chat. So we want to welcome to the studios of WINN FM for the first time. Now, she's no stranger to the media and radio in St. Kitts Nevis, but this is the first time here at WINN FM. So we say good morning and welcome to Brenda O'Neill. The mic is yours.
Good morning, and thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I come to the Federation this time for a sad occasion. My friend Pam Hendrickson, her mother, passed away, so I did come for the funeral. But as always, I make the best of this visit. So I have once again experienced some new and different things that I did not know or were not aware of in St. Kitts, and I've been extremely grateful for that honor and privilege because, as you know, it is probably my favorite place, and that's going to get me in a whole lot of trouble, but it's okay. I just love...
Jamster's laughing.
No, Jamster, you don't know. We'll talk about it later, okay? But I just love everything about this destination, and I'm so excited for what the future holds.
Well, Chris Collins, I know you're locked down to listen also. First share with us, if you can, if you recall, how many years you have been coming to St. Kitts? Not why you came in the first place, because you've come back time and time again.
Right.
That's a testimony of really being impressed with the place. But how long have you been coming here?
You told my guests 3 passports, so I guess it's been close to 30 years that
I
I've
would
been
think
visiting.
so.
Yeah, it's been close to 30 years.
And you know, you wear many hats. I'm going to put you on the spot to go through your qualifications in terms of what you do. So we will start with that. People get an idea as to why you're here, what you do, and that will qualify you for the comments you'll be able to make about the destination. So let's see who you are.
I am the proud owner of With This Ring Destination Weddings and Honeymoons. We've been in business for over 30 years. We've done destination weddings throughout the Caribbean. That is what we specialize in. We also do honeymoons. We do celebratory travel. I had the honor of having my birthday celebration here with 31 friends and family a few weeks ago in July. I serve on the board of IADWP for several years. I'm now the chapter head.
What is IEWP?
International Association of Destination Wedding Planners.
Okay.
So we are now having a chapter that I head called the English-Speaking Caribbean, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I have chaired the Antigua and Barbuda Travel Agent Advisory Board. I've also been on the board of the Association of Black Travel Professionals. And I've won numerous awards from several suppliers and wholesalers throughout the diaspora, as well as the U.S. and Canada. So that's me, and that's what I do. And I love travel. I retired from U.S. Airways. I retired from Delta Airlines. And I just keep myself busy. But I love this place, and I love the potential in this place. So that's why I continue to return and continue to bring people, continue to tell, continue to write. I also do write for Agent at Home Magazine and Travel Pulse. And I try to use those mediums to share my love for this destination.
So you're easily considered an expert.
Some people say
industry.
So. I know a little something. I know a little something, yeah.
On an average, how often do you visit the Federation?
Well, let me tell you the story that happened when I arrived on Sunday. I went to get in the visitor line, and the officer says, "Go in the resident line." I said, "But ma'am, I'm not a resident." "You go in the resident line." So I think that I am here probably every couple of months, perhaps, maybe. Yeah, probably every couple of months. I'll be back in November and back in December. So, yeah, I'm here a lot, I think so.
Amongst the group that came to celebrate your birthday was a number of travel agents, people who are versed in the industry. And the times you bring, I would say you yourself, bring fam trips And these are familiarization trips of
I've
various
brought
agents?
one. I've only brought one official one. But when I come, I'm always bringing someone. And I'm always telling someone you must come see and you must come experience. Your new CEO has created a program that allows agents to come and experience during the off season. And I think that will take off greatly next year because once you see it, you can't help but love it. You can't help but love it. So I think that's the challenge, is getting people and getting agents of quality to see it and to understand that you don't need to be all-inclusive to survive.
You are more versed in the air travel industry as opposed to the ships?
Oh, yeah, we forgot to say that. She's on the board of Cruise World, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just get that.
Yeah, she's on the board of Cruise World, too.
You're, I think, a person that the Ministry of Tourism would like to have ongoing dialogue with. People in the industry who can share their expertise. Now we have the Ministry of Tourism, we have the Tourism Authority, but we need people like you who are actually out there. You know, there are conventions that many folks attend to sell, market, sing kits. If you were given the job, and this is put in, in the hot seat, if you were given the job or the face of selling sing kits, what approach would you take?
I would use the approach I used with my youngest son when we came here for the birthday celebration. My youngest son does not like all-inclusive properties. My son does not like big, big properties. Mommy, you know how I feel about these things. So my sell to him was this: I know where I'm taking you. You'll be able to get out. You'll be able to walk around. You'll be able to go have breakfast here. You'll go have lunch here. You'll be able to just be out and about. And he was so excited and so impressed and cannot wait to come back. So that's what I say to people. It's not the same. It's very, very different destination, but a destination your clients will enjoy. You must get them over the fact that, oh, it's going to cost me so much money. It does not. You can get a wonderful breakfast for less than $8 here. You can get a wonderful dinner for $11. I mean,
it comes with knowing.
It comes in knowing, and again, that's the part that tourism has to play. You have to explain it. I take it on myself to explain it. I wrote an article about it doesn't have to be all-inclusive, because it does not. If you're not a heavy drinker, you're not spending that kind of money. You're not spending $90 a day. You're not. So I think no disparaging, again, to the all-inclusive properties, because I do love them. But there are people who want something different, and people who've traveled, they really need something different. And this beautiful destination is just that. It's that something different. It really, really is. Really, really is.
I've noticed that when you're here, you immerse yourself with much of the culture. The juice man, those folks who actually, I don't mention this one because these are people who are involved in the industry, but they're more or less invisible. You won't find them at Port Zante. Yeah, they had experience some time ago with a farm that you visited.
Oh, yes. We love her and her farm. We
so
do.
The farm to table experience, these are things that we would rather sell and push rather than the regular normal tour.
It's got to be different here. It can't be the same. And I've heard people say you don't have much to offer here, but you do. I don't think you realize really what you have. Because as you know, when I hit the ground running. Sunday when I landed, first thing, head to the Coconut Waterman, go see the monkeys. Listen to the music.
That was over to Shipwreck?
Yes. So it's for me, it's always about experiencing something. And then you took me to some secret destinations that I'm in love with, and I'm not going to say what they are. But I really, really just love this place. I really do, and I love the people. But yes, I will find the juice man. Yes, I will find the smoothie king. Yes, I will do all of those things. And when I do my weddings here, everything is local. We don't bring much. I don't allow my brides to bring much. Use what's here because it's such a gift. It really is such a gift. So I implore people to don't just shake your head. And I do walk with a map when they say, where is St. Kitts? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Because people say, oh, is it down by South America? No, it's not. So again,
it's not part of Jamaica.
Right. There's a challenge here to make sure people are aware, first of all, where it is and what it has to offer. But you know me, I don't meet a stranger, so it's easy for me here to go have breakfast at the bistro, and that'd be a native breakfast. I don't think you need to have bacon and eggs for breakfast when you're in a destination. I don't think it's necessary.
No. Some years ago, Jamster, when Jack Tar, before the Marriott, a family came down, quote unquote African American. And the guy was really ticked off. He told them, the management, I did not leave America to come down here to be fed hot dog and hamburger. I want Caribbean food. And they gave him a voucher. I was a driver. We went down to the market. And he just bought a lot of stuff and came back and told him, this is what I want you to prepare for me to eat. And that made sense. Even with the music, I'm digressing, entertainers in the hotels are playing North American music. They didn't leave home to hear the same thing they left back at home. But back to the point of
Oh, no, but no,
foods.
let me go on that. That's a pet peeve, too. Jamster. Mm-hmm. So we're at the shipwreck, and I'm talking to my friend Maxine, and I'm like, so what is Katishan music? I'm confused because I'm singing along with these songs, but what is Katishan music? I love his music. I love they make sense when you listen to the words. So I think sometimes we dumb it down a bit for Americans, and I don't think we should do that. I'm walking with a beef patty and sea moss gel and everything in my bag, right? Because I don't want a hot dog and hamburger at the airport. I don't want that. So I think the food is spectacular and amazing here. It really is. Mm-hmm. We had dinner the other night, and the salmon and the chicken, everything just to perfection. So I think, I came during restaurant week. Yeah, birthday was during restaurant week. And the king didn't even know the event. We went, and it was everything passion fruit up at the Eco Park. Absolutely.
That was a wonderful experience.
Fabulous. Yes. We sat in chairs under the tree, and everything, that crab passion fruit, whatever that thing was, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. So you have such a gift, and I think and pray that your CEO will promote that particular event, because there are foodies out here who will come for that. I mean, literally everything had, and there must have been, about 20 or 30 vendors, and everything had a taste of papaya in it. And you had a passport, and once you sampled their food, they checked you off on the passport. It was lovely. But again, he was not aware. So people say, you know more than we know. But I make it my business to know, because I want so for you to succeed here. I want so for it to be, now I don't want it to be too much because I love it, but I want others to see it and I want others to experience. So when I come in December, I'll come with 3 friends who are awesome travel advisors, because they're like, we see you there all the time. We see you, we want to know. So they'll come and they'll fall in love, I guarantee, with this destination, because it's just so much to offer. I rip and run probably, I don't think I've seen the swimming pool. Oh, for my birthday, one day I did. Yeah, I did. But I prefer to be out and about. I had never seen the monkeys. Now, believe it, in 30 years, I had never gone to see the monkeys. So we went to see the monkeys. Check that off my list. But it's just, to me, it's just such a divine place to be. And I just really, really love it here.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pause now, head downtown, give Caesar his due, and when we return, you'll have permission to speak about one of the destinations that we visited recently while you were here.
Okay.
Because that is about letting people know there are things to do, etc., even for the locals. So, rip it, Chamster.
Fergie, this is the big one, calling up.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
That's the familiar sound of the school bell ringing to let you know that class is in session. Listen up, class. Let your parents know that the place to shop for your back-to-school essentials is the TDC Home and Building Depot in St. Kitts and City Drugstore Nevis Limited. Get up to 30% off backpacks, notebooks, pens, pencils, school bundles, printers, and more. And while they're there, be sure to have them ask about the tech tools for teachers so we can help you achieve even more success. And remind them about Flash Sale Fridays, when you can receive even more savings just in time for the new school year. Now you know. See you at TDC Home and Building Depot and City Drugstore Nevis Limited. Class is now dismissed. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Hey kids, drink healthy!
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink from more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed. chubby, jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
And it's 20 minutes past 11 o'clock, and you're logged on for another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates, and with us in the studio today is a very special guest whom I refer to as a friend of the Federation in the person of Brenda O'Neill. And we're going to open the lines, Jamsi, because in a short space of time, she have to be rushing to the airport. She's only here for up until the midday newscast. So anybody want to engage in any questions, about something, we can do that. So Brenda, you arrived for a special event to support your friends, your friend in, during the passing of her mother, and you've been here up and about. One of the places that you were interested in seeing is a black sand beach in Pompey Sandy Point. There's been some attempt to make that place a destination. There was a tour done last year called from Charles Fort to Fort Charles. Given the short speed of time you have here, we were able to go down to first Fort Charles, was it yesterday? Charles Fort, the Lazaretto, or the former leper asylum, and then through Sandy Point down to Pompey and Fig Tree. So walk us through that experience, what you see in terms of the potential of that place being developed as a destination.
I love history, and I think quite a few other people do as well. And I'm quite fascinated with the leper colony. I believe you did a series on Sandy Point.
Asylum.
That's where I saw Asylum. Okay. Where I saw that. And I think that really intrigued me. It's a beautiful place. I could see it as a venue even for events at some point in time. But just the history and the views. And again, that's something different, because if you're going to have cruise ship passengers and they come, by the time they get to St. Kitts, they've seen everything there is to see. So you need that something different. So I think it's important that you project that something different out to people for things to see and do. So I was quite impressed, and I'm challenged sometimes with the right knee, who doesn't act quite like I would like it to, and I was able to navigate it quite well. So I think it certainly should be something that's added as a tour and something that should be experienced. It's maintained quite well. And there's a door that, has history, I'm sure, as people entered and left. And Pump Bay I was really excited about. The owner there at the Rum Dog is amazing. He gets it. He really gets it. He just needs some help, but he gets it. And the Black Sand Beach is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. So to be there and to have sunset and to have some drinks and to have some dinner would be an amazing experience. So I do hope that tourism does take note and does live up to promises and does provide the support necessary for that particular area to develop as well. Because, again, if cruising is what you want to do, that's fine. But you have not that many beaches here in St. Kitts. So to discover another beach where you can take clients, I think is something great. And I'm a big fan of stayover, and I'm a big fan of that 7-day window. So that, again, affords guests at hotels, Airbnbs, something for them to do as well. To go and see and go and experience and understand the history of, because I don't know of many other places that you have that particular bit of history.
Well, we have lots of guests coming off the cruise ships who are inquiring about a black sand beach. And normally we think of Deep Bay, down at where Arthur's is, etc. There aren't any accommodation there, except for the hotel. But for a driver to take, say, a one-off guest down there is not feasible economically. You would have to wait for them or make 2 trips, etc. So to have a place where you can actually develop, we have all the accommodations, all the amenities in place. There's a bar, there's a restaurant, and lobsters on the menu. I think that's potentially something that we have to work with and support, especially that is trying to develop a Sunday. I'm saying on Sundays, Jamster, everybody goes to the dockside. That's potentially another destination. Now, during COVID, he had lots of business because Pratney was shut down. But now, things are different, so that traffic has been somewhat diminished. But from a tourism perspective, we need to be able to go off the beaten track and offer excursions that better sell St. Kitts, right, in the rural areas. The farm that you went to, the health and wellness, that's another great potential.
It's a wonderful experience.
And she's been here a few times, Victoria. She's been here several times, but you were there with your family last time. We have some clips of that. Let us hear what you experienced and what you recommend for.
St. Kitts was an ideal destination because guests had varying needs and varying desires of things they wanted to see and do. So I had heard of the lady from this show, and we went, and she made provision for us. I believe there were 10 to 12 of us that went, and she explained, and we drank cactus juice, and Sidney made passion fruit smoothies.
As a husband.
Yeah, her husband. And she explained about the noni, and I still chew that stuff. It's horrible, but I tell you what, if I take it on a regular, my knee feels really, really good. The noni leather, good stuff. We bought everything she had, and she had to bring more stuff to the airport for us because that's how intrigued they were and how in depth she goes with explaining. So if you have guests and clients who really are into that health and wellness thing, that would be amazing for them. And she's getting to the point that she'll be able to prepare muffins. We had muffins that we tasted and so forth. So that, again, is something that's so unique and so very, very different that only is offered here. And you sit up under, she has a tent, and you sit, and it's just, and they'll take you down and show you
It's
the
on the
fruit trees.
flamboyant tree, lots of shade, great atmosphere.
And they'll show you all of the fruit trees and explain. And Sydney loves explaining. And it's just a wonderful experience. But again, you have to know about it to experience it, right? And where else? I've been to several destinations, never seen anything like it. And those 10 people came back, and the others are like, man, I knew I should have gone. Okay, well, you missed that one. Let's see what else we
those
can
that
do.
didn't join the group.
Those that didn't go, so let's see, because my son is still hating on that. He's still like, why did I stay back here and play basketball with this boy? We could have gone. Well, that was your choice, and it was a good choice because you spent time with your son. But Ma, that would have been great to go, and it was. Her presentation is flawless. It really, really is. It kept everybody so engaged with what she was speaking about. So again, that's something else that is just divine and wonderful. The King took us on an amazing tour. We wound up at Arthur's. Great food, great fellowship, just sitting, talking. And for them, it's something different too. They didn't know St. Kitts. They were trusting me that, okay, you're there all the time. You say it's good, we're coming. And it could have been more people, but I felt I would have not been serving them properly to be able to spend time with them, whereas the group was a size I could manage. I made sure I got to everybody and gave them a little piece of my time because I was grateful. It was not a cheap trip to come and spend with me. So you thought enough of me to come and do that, and that was very important to me. Okay. But you have so very much to offer. That juice man is my best friend. Do you hear what I'm telling you? By the pink building. What's the pink building called? What's the pink building?
I don't know. You're talking about over by the National Insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sells baby bottles and a thing called 9-in-1. Oh, that 9-in-1 is serious, Jamster. That is good juice. That is good juice. But I try to make sure when I come, I get somebody local to bake my cake. I get somebody local to bring my watermelon juice. Kevin brought watermelon juice, and everybody tried to kill me for my watermelon juice. I said, you didn't say you wanted it. I said I wanted it. I make my own, and I make the best fruitcake in the world, sir. I make the best in the world. Challenge on.
Jam still wants to know if he's better than ours, but that's a whole different story. Now, the lines are open, 6620989.
Where's Sister Henry? I love Sister Henry.
She's probably calling. Listen, I don't know. She probably will call, but here's what. Let's talk Nevis before Sister Henry gets jealous.
Oh.
Right? She's from Nevis and very proud of her heritage. So you're speaking mainly about St. Kitts. You've been on Nevis. What is your take on Nevis?
Oh, you put me in a spot right there. I like Nevis. They have the 4 seasons. Okay.
But the Mango Fest.
Oh, yeah.
We have a call?
I do love mangoes.
Okay, good. The caller, you're live on Voices. Let's hear what you have to say.
Good morning, the King.
Morning, sir. How about that?
I'm good. I'm just taking a chance here just to let the listeners know that Journey is still here. The topic is today, but I just have a few moments, so I'll just sound my voice on the air.
Really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Actually, we have...
I want to say good morning to Mrs. Henry.
Yes.
And, just kind of making a re-entrance again. I don't know how often I'll get back on the air, but I'll try now that it's a little slow.
Uh-huh. It's good.
What are you talking about?
And Jamson says, hail upon salutations and all kind of stuff.
Okay, all right, man, thanks.
All right, I guess it's Brenda O'Neill. She's, Federal Federation. We're talking about the experience in St. Kitts, and we just went across to Nevis. And so you call it the midst of that. So she know all about she know all about you. She calling all the time.
Nevis is good. The Sulphur Springs is good. There's a lady there who has a shop, and she.
Thanks, Journey.
Oh, hi, Journey. Bye, Journey.
All right, Journey.
Yeah. She explains quite well. medicinal things and so forth. She had brain cancer, I do believe. So that was a nice experience. As she's yelling, "Take off your clothes and get in the hot water." I don't know, but yeah, it's different. Here I go getting in trouble again. My opinion is it should be sold as one destination, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Mm-hmm.
You're separate, but I don't think you're strong enough to be selling so independent of each other. I think it would behoove people to not just get off the plane in St. Kitts and run to Nevis. I think it would be nice if at some point in time they could split that stay and experience both. We had agents who came to Nevis. I went and picked them up, and you were kind enough to help me let them see a bit of St. Kitts, because you can't be that close and don't experience this. So I think that's something that should be looked at, making it a true destination, because they both offer so much. Some of my guests did go over to Nevis for the day, and they were excited to see what Nevis had to offer. But I think you're doing a disservice when all they
Let's
do
take this call. We just missed a call. Sorry, I got this.
I think you do a disservice when they come and they get right off the plane and go right to Nevis. I think that's a disservice, because I do think they need to experience here as well. So that would be a suggestion I would have, is that you kind of come together on that. I know everybody wants their own coins, but I think it is St. Kitts and Nevis, right?
Yes. Let's take this caller. Good, the caller, you're live on Voices. Good, the caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes. I kind of detected a reticence when you transferred to Nevis.
In my voice?
No, it was my voice. Is this Gregory?
No.
It wasn't your guess. Okay, well, I may have been wrong.
No, it was not him. It was me, and it wasn't a hesitant.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
you when he switched.
Yeah, it wasn't a hesitant necessarily.
You say reticence.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, as if there was something else that was coming. You know, when you talk about something and then you say, but.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm partial to St. Kitts. I'm going to take the hit on that one.
Okay.
I really, really am. I'll be responsible.
But I know she's
that.
traveled here to be with at the Mango Fest and spoke very highly of it.
I do now. That event
That
is a
why I wanted
wonderful
to hear
event. That
Uh-huh.
event, I think it was handled much better this time around. I don't think they had anticipated the crowds they got the first time around. But I love Mango, so I think Mango Fest is an awesome thing. I really, really do. And I think it was well done. I really, really do. I really do. And your Culturama as well. Culturama as well. I think it's well done. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, but what I'm saying was, I think that you need to be able to experience both, is I guess what I'm saying. Because you have guests who come to the airport here in St. Kitts and get right on a boat and go to Nevis and don't ever see St. Kitts, right? So I think it would be nice if they work together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you both have very unique things to offer.
Let's see what you have to say. Go ahead.
I just wondered, your line of, shall we say, business seems kind of, it almost seems unique. Of course, yes, there are travel agencies and so on, but this is so personalized. And I wondered if there was actually a larger market for this kind of, shall we call it touring or personalized stuff, because I think we underestimate the power of the individual citizen. I always recall place that I worked, the CEO, a foreigner, he always recounted the story where he came to St. Kitts a long time ago on an American Eagle then flight that came in late at night. And there was nowhere that was open. And the person, the Kittitian, invited them to their home for dinner. And he always remembered that story and said that was one of the reasons why he came and eventually opened a business in St. Kitts, employing hundreds of people. Okay? And so we tend to not give that kind of personalized, individual touch, the kind of recognition that it deserves. So I just wondered if you think there is a room for more people, there's room for more people like you who can design personal package tours if it's a difficult thing to set up and do, or do our regulations as well as the regulations where you're based. Is it England?
No, actually Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, Carolina. Okay, right. If the regulations allow for in both places, the destinations and your home port, your base, if it allows for easy entry into that kind of market. That's what I wonder.
I appreciate the question. It's not, I can't even tell you how or where I met the people that I know in St. Kitts. It seems like they've always been a part of my existence. But I am very much into the personalized, and I think after you've been an agent for so many years, you start to customize and start to look for those things that are different and the experiences that are more personalized. So is it difficult? No. I think I take it upon myself as well to try to bring agents here so they can experience it, because most good travel agents, once they experience something, they can go back and sell it, but they're very hesitant to sell what they don't know. So I'm trusting that's something in your future here in St. Kitts, that you will get the agents here so that they can see what it is and they can understand what it is, and they in turn can bring more guests here. We are fortunate in Charlotte that during the season we do have nonstop service here on Saturdays, which does make it a bit easier.
That's Delta?
No, that's American.
American? Okay.
Yeah. So that makes it a bit easier for our particular. I came on a full flight the other day, and that was amazing as well. So.
Okay, we have 2 calls standing by. So thank you, my friend. Let's see what this call have to say. Good day, call 11 Voices.
Good morning, good morning.
Okay, somebody want to hear your voice, so you're on.
Hi, Sister Henry. How are you?
Oh, I am fine. I'm very fine. I am here so impressed.
Oh,
so impressed with you and what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I like you. I am glad you love St. Kitts.
I love it
bad.
bad.
To travel too, you know.
Nevis too.
Yeah, let me get out of my hole. Nevis too, Sister Henry. I love Nevis too.
Something about our food.
Oh,
you know,
my
sometimes when I go abroad, when I used to travel on my job, I used to lose weight. The food was so bland, you know. You had to go out and look for the local things.
Right.
Remember one time in Antigua, we stayed at this hotel. And I was complaining, said, gosh, man, the Europeans are child, we don't eat like that. So one of the
bananas taste different, Sister Henry. We tasted a banana on the way back from touring yesterday. The banana tastes different than the one back home.
That is the same spirit in the banana. It is enveloped in the banana. You can't miss it. You get 2 bananas, you don't want a lunch. And so this lady, who was one of the servers, I said, I want some Antigua food. Darling, next she brought a whole bowl of pig snout and pink bean soup and so. The time it was me, Vance Amory, and Franklin Brand. I said, well, Lord, I don't even know the woman. So I wanted me all. He took the first session. And girl, I am telling you, there's something about our food, man. Our spirit is in the food.
Yeah, you have an amazing restaurant
thank
week.
You for bringing people to see the place, you know?
Oh, no, my pleasure. And we'll bring more because it's such a gift. It really, really is.
It is. But you see, unless you travel or to see other places, you wouldn't believe.
Be able to compare.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was in Washington, D.C., in the Carriers Two Cities house, that George Washington house, which one of them? And I said, I was clipping my teeth in the line, you know? I mean, I said, well, it's disturbing people to see. But what intrigued me was that they had what they call like a herbal garden. Some kind, we just had tea bush, eh?
Yeah.
I said, look at that now. We have missed opportunities. I went on a tour in Barbados, and they took us to see a lady yard with tea bush. And nothing better than tea bush, you know. So keep doing what you're doing. We thank you.
Well, thank
and
you.
We are looking forward to, and I see you have a good, before I forget, good morning, Journey. You went down to buy Journey salmon and all that. You carried out by Journey.
We haven't had a chance to go there yet, and she's going to the airport from here, so next time around.
Yes, safe flight,
Thank
flight.
you so
Good
much.
Journey.
Appreciate it.
And Socrates, I'm going to have to recommend you.
For
one this CFM, I gone.
Thank you so very much. Keep your fingers crossed. And if you don't have any call on the line, we go to the downtown. Let's go and give credit to sponsors once more. And then we come back and wrap things up with Brenda, okay?
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
Rhymes the good food
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
TDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with it all. TDC Financial Services. We are strong. TDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Okay, we're back, and we've got just about, it's 11:42. We've got about 17 minutes before the maiden newscast, and we have this time to share with Brenda O'Neill, friend of the Federation. The lines are open, and I want to continue having a little chit-chat with her before she heads for RLB. So, Brenda, I want to thank you first for taking the time and the effort for being here. I'm glad you had a chance to rap directly with Sister Henry and the gentleman called before you. Because there are people who want to know that how the visitor, quote unquote, outsiders see St. Kitts in their eyes because there are things that we see here and take for granted. We don't see the full potential. And sometimes it takes someone who would have traveled hither, thither, and yon to be able to make the comparisons and say, hey guys, you have a gem. And that is why you have this call of appreciation. So please continue.
You do. Well, all 31 of those who attended my party want to come back yesterday. All of them want to come back yesterday because they did not know what to expect, but they were willing to come, and they came open-minded, and they fell in love. Each and every one fell in love with something different.
You had a great experience at Spice Mill?
They did, and I was blessed to be able to see Roger on Sunday and thank him again for the great job that he did. And personally thank you as well because you were at my son's wedding, and many of those guests knew you from that, and we're excited to see you again in your element, not in a different place, but in your element.
Humbled.
So I just really want and I spoke with Miss Ann McNutt yesterday, the GM at the Marriott, and when I asked for a manager, all their faces turned purple like, oh God, somebody has something to complain about. And I told them, no, I just missed the survey that they send out, and I want to personally thank her for the job that her staff did, because Andrew Cleary is a star. He's a star. He handles things well. My little quirks and things I wanted, he handled without question. So it was very important for me to let her know. And in conversation, we expressed to her that we're looking at a Love Caribbean and certain things. And she's open to so many ideas. And her staff was so personable and so helpful this morning as I was leaving.
GM at the Marriott?
Yeah, at the Marriott. So just, you don't know what you have. And I think I'm trying to help people know what you have. Because truly it is a gem and it's a jewel. And every time I've come, and it's been 30 years, there's something new I see and something new I do.
Do you also do a write-up for hotels or properties?
I do. I have an article coming for a magazine called Compass, which is Vax Vacation Access, which is viewed by many travel agents. She asked me to do the article on St. Kitts, and I will do just that. But I've written before on the destination for several different publications because, again, I say you just don't know what you have compared to what others. It is a joy. And like they say, for me, it is personal at this point in time because I have my friends. I have my ride or dies. Maxine is a joy. Pastor Penny makes sure I'm where I need to be. You do the same. So there are people here that are like family. And I just want others to come and really see and experience this. I think you should stay a week. Nothing against the cruise industry at all. But I think it's very important that you stay a week and you really get to understand what this destination has to offer. And I think once you do that, you'll just really want to keep coming back and want to keep coming back. Because, again, 30 years, I've not repeated much. I've done something new and different every time I've come. So, and I appreciate tourism. The support they gave during my birthday planning was really, really appreciated. They made my guests feel very, very welcome. The Marriott made my guests feel very, very welcome. Arthur's made us feel very welcome. We showed up unannounced at Patsy's, and she made us feel welcome.
That's in the Strip in Frigate Bay.
Yeah, we had dinner at Boozy's, and So everyone went out of their way to make sure everybody felt welcome and at home. And it showed, because they've gone back and they've told people, where is this St. Kitts? I want to go there. Where is this place? So,
For the uninitiated, they ask you, okay, you're talking about St. Kitts. What is the best time of the year to visit?
I don't know there's a bad time.
That's the best time.
I don't. There's not a bad time. I mean, the weather, we were very fortunate in July. There was no hurricane. The weather was absolutely beautiful those 5 to 7 days we were here. It's beautiful now.
Well, they're the winter travelers, those who travel because it's winter.
Well, I mean, if you want carnival and you want to be busy, you come then, but you've got restaurant week, you've got music festival, you've got so much. So there doesn't necessarily have to be a set time that you come here. I think I've hit this place in every season, and I've never had a moment that I've regretted. So, I mean, I would love to stay now because I'm getting ready to fly into a hurricane. I don't understand what I'm doing right now, but okay, I need to get home, so I'm going home.
It's a good question to field, because I myself get questions from my passengers when driving them. When is the best time to come here? I know summertime, if you're talking cruise, those ships go mainly to the Mediterranean.
Right.
And so we benefit from the winter cruise passengers. So for those who have the option, because sometimes we understand that airlift to St. Kitts can be very challenging, and that's been a problem. That's why this 2-hour guest is so very important.
Right.
Right? That is why well, back in the day when you had the all-inclusive, which was the only one, the major hotel here. But then we have the options. You've been at the Park Hyatt also.
Beautiful property. Beautiful property. The views at Park Hyatt are absolutely beautiful. For a honeymoon couple or a couple getting married, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. There are restaurants you can walk to. We went and experienced the young lady who has the little smoothie shack there and so forth. So many little things you have here. And the food at Park Hyatt is amazing. I think at one point we went to an event there where it was, a 5-course meal for X amount of dollars. So they all have something they bring to the forefront. The rooms at Koi are absolutely fabulous in my estimation. The bit of a challenge is the location. You will require a vehicle or transportation to get almost everywhere you want to go. But again, if you give it 7 days, it's okay. It's really okay. And there are several other small places. I mean, you've got everything here. You've got Airbnb. You've got hotels. You've got the smaller properties.
Time true.
Yeah. You've got the bakeries. And you've got so much here that, I really am on a single woman mission to make sure that everyone experiences this beautiful destination, because it's just that. It's absolutely incredible. And the people are absolutely incredible, extremely friendly, extremely helpful when you get the welcome home. But I'm extremely concerned about this getting the residence line thing. I hope that's the Holy Spirit speaking. But,
but it's a wonderful thing. It says you recognize, you appreciate it. You should not have to stay in the visitor line. Come in the resident line. That's a testimony. And Jamster is still not satisfied that what was it?
The challenge is on, Jamster. Mine is already soaking. Is yours? I take that to be a no, right? I guess your fruits are not soaking right now, right? So I'm already winning. I'm already winning. Challenge accepted. I'll be here. That's my actual birthday. I'll be here. Let's do this.
And the lines are still open?
Yeah.
6620989 gets you in on the little discussion, little chit-chat. We've had, over the many years, in spite of all the challenges and what's up there, very, very positive reports on the taxi service, the quality of service, etc. There is, starting on the 2nd of next month, a taxi retraining program. Every year, we go through a retraining process. And there are those who figure, well, we go through it every year, we don't need to go through it, etc. Thoughts on that?
You can fall into bad habits very easily, especially when you deal with customer service. People tend to beat you down even when they don't beat you down. So there's nothing wrong with recurrent training. There's nothing wrong with getting the excitement again, because you are the ambassadors for this destination. You're sometimes the first people come in contact with. All of my encounters have not been the best. The majority have. You know of the one I experienced where I was next in line to get a taxi and a Caucasian couple came and the man took them to town and left me standing there, So we still do that. So I think that there's nothing wrong with...
I didn't know about that.
Yes, you did. You did. There's nothing wrong with that retraining process. And I politely told him, you don't know what tip I had to give you, do you? Okay. No, I'll take. You don't need to take me now. I'm
still
good.
trying to remember that
I'm really
particular
good.
incident.
I'm really good with that. But I think there's nothing wrong with recurrent customer service training because there's always something new and something different.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I say, you're sometimes the first face. And they need to see that pleasant face. They don't need to see someone grumbling about, you didn't, they just don't need to see that. They don't need to see that. So I think that value needs to be placed in the taxi driver fraternity. And I think they do need to understand that there's nothing wrong with training. There's always something you can learn. As long as you're alive, there's something you can learn. So I think that the training is very important because again, maybe the communication is not the best because you've got drivers who didn't know about the event at the Eco Park. That's not good, right? So
share a joke with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 2 words. Mm-hmm. You'll be cracking up, but it's important for you to share it.
Okay.
Flying flowers.
Oh, sweet Lord. So I'm an on-time person, Jamster. I don't believe in anybody being late. That's not what I do. So the king was nice enough to introduce us to the young lady at the farm. So we were going to the farm. I accidentally left 2 of my guests behind because they had disappeared. So they managed to take transportation, and when they arrived at the farm, they're like, oh, we just had the best driver. He took us and he showed us the flying flowers. What flying flowers? What are you talking about? Uh-huh. Oh, the flying flowers. We don't know what you're speaking about. So the driver's from the Dominican Republic, and it was the white birds.
You didn't have to go to anything, but we're talking about retraining, the need for retraining.
It's the white birds, and he's like, it's the flying flowers. So, again, everybody with a taxi license doesn't necessarily need to be a driver. So, yes, the training does need to be held. Flying flowers. And we're all like,
what a flying flower.
Where's a flying flower? But that was his description of it, and that's fine, but that's not what it was, and that's not what the history of it is. So there's nothing wrong with learning. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with learning the history. I mean, you go well and explain the colors on the mural on the wall, or what the colors are. Do we know what our colors? Yeah, do we know what our colors mean? So I think that's important because that's how you engage clients. You don't just drive them around and don't say anything to them. You don't do that.
You engage them in the culture.
You don't do that.
You have the conversation. But the whole flying flowers thing, because oftentimes you, the driver, do not know who you're driving. There are people who are versed in the history, the culture, they ask you questions to answers and no. And you have to be careful with your answer.
Right.
And so you're driving by, you give it a tour. You're passing the Igwits, just say number camps, and they ask you, what are they? And you call them flying
flowers. And they were so excited. They were like, you don't know the flying flowers? I have no idea what you're speaking about, flying flowers. So it's important that you know your history. Guests did comment on how well you know and how excited they were about the explanations at Brimstone Hill and so forth. But you have to be knowledgeable. That's part of what you do. And it's important that you do that. And it's important that you do that well. And it's important that you do that with some sense of pride in your community. So, training always. Yeah.
I passed the flying flowers last night, about 6:30-ish. And I regretted not stopping because they were there in the numbers. And it was a bit darkened, and the contrast, so beautiful. And I'm going to maybe later on, if I'm in town this late, take a picture of that. But we got 5 minutes to go, so the lines are still open. Anyone want to call back, speak to Brenda before she leaves. We got about 5 minutes before the WINN FM's midday newscast. 662-0989. And we have a call at the mom? Yeah.
Jamster, the challenge is on, man. Seriously. I challenge you. We have to find out a good prize, though, because I'm going to win. So I have to figure out what I want when I win. One slice of my cake and you won't remember your name.
Oh.
Rum and wine.
You're trying to get your ingredients.
You challenge, so let's go.
But then you can make better sorrel, can't you, Jamso? You're not sure? Have you ever done the sorrel thing? All the time? Okay. Well, she's never done sorrel.
Who?
I'm just saying. I don't know.
That's what you use, hibiscus, yeah. St. Croix history, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hibiscus.
Want to say good morning to Rosemary Donald up there in New York. Also say hi to Bag of Sugar for me, a very special friend. We share that joke. And it's been a most wonderful experience to hear from your perspective, your views on St. Kitts, how long you've been coming here, the changes you've seen. What you appreciate more than anything else is the component where you interact with the local vendors, because it gives you a better feel, an authentic feel of the destination.
It does.
There's some travelers who's, I won't name the country, you go to that particular country and you're on a compound, they tell you don't leave the property. You have not been to that country, you've been to, say, Sanders. I've said to guests over the years, if you only stay in Frigate Bay, you've not been to St. Kitts.
You've not.
Go downtown, hit a bar, have a beer, rub shoulder with a local person. If you get lost, just simply ask direction. They will direct you. You have no fear of attack on self.
I drive here.
Well, just let me know what days you're driving.
You know what?
I'm encouraged for the guests to feel appreciated, feel safe, and I encourage them, go downtown night or day. If you get lost, ask anyone. Right. They will direct you safely. There's no threat to self.
No, there's not at all.
Because in today's world, there's so much out there, and we've had some negative press, of course, but when people ask a question, you need to be comfortable. You can answer them honestly and say, hey, you're safe.
My Trini posse loved getting up in the morning and walking to Frigate Bay to swim with the locals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they enjoyed doing. They were so excited about the food because they're like, we don't want hamburger, we don't want chicken fingers, you're not going to have that here. That's not going to happen. So I appreciate the opportunity to share my passion for this country. I look forward to great things in store, hope to be a part of those great things in store. And, just represent it well because, again, I say it's such a gift that people don't know about. And it's such an amazing destination. So I want people to know. I don't want it to change too much because I like it the way it is. But I do want people to experience it. I think it's very important that they do something different and not the same old, same old. So if you have the opportunity, my clients who have come to, I got a couple that got married off of the cruise ship. They've been here twice since their wedding. Mm-hmm. They came from Music Festival and they came another time. I had clients who wanted to come and they stayed at Ernest's, the one bedroom he has over at his place.
Over at, on the point over there, it's now called The View?
Yeah. So they stayed there and they had an amazing time.
Palms Court.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fabulous place, great for honeymooners.
Yeah, they have
so there are options.
One bedroom over there. So he had a wonderful time. But you have to know your client too. So I know there are some clients I couldn't bring here because they'd lose their minds because what's not all inclusive? I can't get to the buffet. What? So you have to be careful who you send and understand and have them be open-minded enough to be willing to experience, right? And not be closed. So, same thing with agents, and I have expressed that. You've got to bring agents who are willing to understand the concept of not all-inclusive. And once they do that, they'll be willing to sell this place like hotcakes. But if they're stuck on all-inclusive, yes, they'll be disappointed because, well, I don't understand. I can't go get cupcakes. I can't go get, But you can. You're just going to do it a different way, right?
Okay. At this point in time, we want to wish you safe travels.
Appreciate
From here,
it.
you go straight to the airport. We want to thank you for the time you share with us, the expertise, your opinions. It's very positive, and we want to thank you once again for that. So we now pause for the WINN FM midday newscast as we get you a taxi.
Thank you very
wish
much.
you audio, okay?
Appreciate it.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
You found the sound. 98.9. WINN FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With the WINN FM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown.
And I am Yulana Weeks.
Our top stories.
Newly assigned teachers participate in compulsory year-long in-service training. 5 state-of-the-art ambulances coming to St. Kitts and Nevis in 2025.
St. Kitts Nevis adopts AOSIS call to action. Dengue fever outbreak declared in St. Lucia. Challenges of daily survival become more apparent as residents of Carriacou and Petite Martinique continue to grapple with Hurricane Beryl's aftermath. Internationally, Israel carries out extensive strikes in Lebanon as UK nationals are told to leave. Now the details.
The 32 new teachers who were selected to join the St. Kitts teaching fraternity in 2024 are required to participate in a year-long in-service training spearheaded by the Department of Education, St. Kitts. The opening ceremony of the training was held at the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church Auditorium on September 24, 2024. Janelle Williams-Jacobs, Senior Education Officer and Lead Program Coordinator, advised the new teachers of the training logistics, expressing hope that they would find the teaching experience inspiring that would encourage them to give long and dedicated service to the nation's children.
Educator. We hope that upon completing this training, you will feel inspired and committed to becoming a lasting and dedicated member of the teaching profession. The in-service training program is a compulsory 1-year initiative for all new teachers within the education sector. Sessions will be held every Tuesday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. with the location to be announced on a weekly basis. Consistent and punctual attendance is expected with a minimum attendance requirement of 80%. Teachers who are unable to attend any session must submit a formal letter of absence to the principal. Additionally, all participants are required to compile and submit a digital portfolio at the end of the program. Detailed portfolio guidelines will be provided to you in this process to support this process. The training session will be delivered through various interactive methods, fostering an engaging environment where participants can share their thoughts, ideas and experiences, as well as ask questions. Session topics will be tailored to meet your professional needs and reflect the latest global educational trends.
The in-service training is an annual program spearheaded by the Department of Education, which provides a wholesome support and guidance to new educators. The Ministry of Health for St. Kitts and Nevis confirmed that 5 state-of-the-art ambulances are expected to arrive in the Federation in January 2025. The 5 new Toyota Hiace ambulances will be sourced through local Toyota agents TDC and are expected to significantly enhance emergency medical services across the Federation. According to a press release issued by the Ministry of Health, quote, "This initiative continues the Ministry's ongoing commitment to improving healthcare services, ensuring the availability of reliable and efficient medical transportation to meet the growing needs of our healthcare system." The Toyota Hiace ambulances will be equipped with advanced medical equipment designed to provide essential life-saving care during patient transport, unquote. Director of Health Institutions, Dr. Jensen Morton, said the ambulances will allow for more timely and effective emergency responses, which will help to save lives and improve patient outcomes. Also commenting on the new investment, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Mr. Curtis Martin, said the procurement of these ambulances aligns perfectly with the Ministry of Health's broader strategic vision of strengthening healthcare services and ensuring that every citizen has access to quality care, especially during emergencies. The ambulances are expected to be based at the major health institutions across the Federation: the Joseph N. France General Hospital in Basse-Terre, the Poxon Hospital in Sandy Point, the Mary Charles Hospital in Molyneux, and the Alexandra Hospital in Nevis.
Senator the Honorable Dr. Joel Clark represented St. Kitts and Nevis at the Alliance of Small Island States AOSIS breakfast meeting, formally adopting the AOSIS call to action. Attending on behalf of the Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, Dr. Clark emphasized the need for urgent global action to address climate change, particularly the challenges faced by small island developing states. The AOSIS call to action outlines several measures to tackle the climate crisis, focusing on sustainable development, climate adaptation, and improved access to financial resources for vulnerable nations. SIDS, including St. Kitts and Nevis, face heightened risks from rising sea levels and increased frequency of extreme weather events. Dr. Clark reiterated St. Kitts and Nevis's commitment to the objectives of AOSIS, including calls for enhanced climate financing and fair frameworks that allow SIDS to build resilience. She conveyed the Prime Minister's support for the call to action and stated that the Federation is prepared to work with regional and global partners to advance climate goals. The meeting served as a preparation for upcoming high-level climate discussions, the outcomes of which are expected to influence future global climate policy, particularly about the Paris Agreement and the development of climate-resilient economies. In September 2023, Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew attended the AOSIS leaders meeting at the 78th United Nations General Assembly, where SIDS launched a declaration addressing sustainability and development issues. The meeting, chaired by Samoa's Prime Minister Fiame Naomi Mataafa, called for developed nations to meet financial commitments to support small island states in their climate efforts. Dr. Clark also participated in an event organized by the Aspire Artemis Foundation, engaging with youth climate advocates. The foundation focuses on promoting educational and leadership opportunities for marginalized youths. Dr. Clark discussed the vulnerabilities of small island developing nations, particularly those related to climate change, such as rising sea levels and extreme weather events. She encouraged youth participation in climate action, stressing that local efforts, even on a small scale, could contribute to addressing global environmental challenges. The event provided a platform for dialogue where participants explored ways to incorporate climate action into their lives. Dr. Clark's involvement reflects her focus on youth engagement and climate education as part of broader climate advocacy. The nation continues to support global and regional efforts to address climate change's impacts, mainly as they affect small island states.
In regional news,
Dengue fever outbreak declared in St. Lucia, HTS News Force reports.
An outbreak of dengue fever has been declared in St. Lucia.
These increasing trends now constitute an outbreak. This means that the numbers currently being reported exceed the numbers expected, and as such, warrant an immediate and targeted response.
National epidemiologist Michel Fossois reports that St. Lucia experienced a 174% increase in dengue fever cases from July. September has already seen two-thirds of August's cases, prompting health officials to declare an outbreak.
Prevention and control, therefore, involves the elimination of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Because the vector requires water to breed, the public is asked to assist in the control of dengue by eliminating breeding sites in and around the homes. The vector is capable of breeding in the smallest of receptacles, so frequent checks around the home is essential to combat the spread of dengue. Persons are also advised to avoid the indiscriminate dumping of garbage, which also serves as a breeding ground for the mosquito. Please adhere to the scheduled garbage collection days and times. If you have been diagnosed with dengue, please sleep under a mosquito net to avoid being bitten by the mosquito. The use of insect repellent is also recommended to control the spread of dengue virus. Repellent may be applied directly to the skin, clothing, or mosquito nets. Together, we can break the transmission cycle.
As of January 1st, St. Lucia recorded 205 dengue cases. 53% of cases were among females aged 15 to 49, while 64% occurred in the northern part of the island. Castries and Grosley accounted for 29% of cases each, with Babono at 11%. Fossois said cases have also been reported in the southern sectors, but to a lesser extent. The female Aedes aegypti mosquito is the culprit behind the disease's spread.
These mosquitoes are also vectors of chikungunya, yellow fever, and Zika viruses. The mosquito lives in urban habitats and breeds mostly in man-made containers. It feeds primarily during the day, with peak biting periods in the early morning and in the evening before sunset. Dengue is widespread throughout the tropics, with local variations in risk influenced by rainfall, temperature, relative humidity, and unplanned rapid urbanization.
Fossois notes that about 75% of dengue infections are asymptomatic or produce a very mild febrile illness. People with mild dengue may present with fever, accompanied by rash, nausea, or vomiting, pain behind the eye, muscle, and joint pain.
In its more severe form, persons may progress to bleeding from the gums or nose, vomiting blood, and passing blood in the stool. They may also experience severe abdominal pain and/or excessive vomiting, which may lead to dehydration. Approximately 5% of persons progress to the severe form of dengue infection. There is no specific treatment for dengue, and management is supportive based on clinical presentation.
The Ministry of Health pledges continued monitoring of the dengue situation and will provide regular updates. The public is encouraged to stay informed and take the necessary steps to prevent the spread of the disease. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.
Challenges of daily survival become more apparent as residents of Carriacou and Petite Martinique continue to grapple with Hurricane Beryl's aftermath. Grenada Broadcasting Network has the details.
Many were rendered homeless on the sister isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique after the passage of Hurricane Beryl, forcing residents to grapple with the reality of starting all over. Some families have now moved out of shelters into tents that were donated to them, still trying to figure out the next move to recovery. They shared their hardship, explaining that their makeshift homes sometimes leak during heavy rains. Some have resorted to using tarpaulin as a barrier to create a more stable shelter.
Kind to maybe with how the wind blow, because you have a arch on the top of the tent, like it could just blow in the water, and, you know what I mean? We just had to cope with it because, I mean, water is the main thing. I mean, they may stop. I think I hear they stop giving water by now. Well, they stop the food program and everything like that. So we just it's the only water we have right now. Yeah, but for the food, we have food. They ain't tell me nothing about assisting me with my house or nothing like that. Nobody never really come to me. You know, struggling, fighting up.
In some cases, families of 5 and 6 are forced to share a single tent, with several of these temporary shelters caring for young babies in their cramped conditions. They told our news team that there is an urgent need for mattresses and housing materials to begin the rebuilding process.
Well, right now I need about 2 mattresses right now because them little boy and them sleeping on one for themselves, and I need one for myself. I put in for a tent also, and I didn't get the tent for myself, so I could have set up by my place. I didn't get that neither. So that's why I really did jamming up here, you know what I mean? Well, I go fish, you know, I could do any ends of construction, anything. In the line of work, I refuse.
Residents living in the shelters are claiming that they no longer receive food or water as a form of aid from the National Disaster Management Agency, and that to survive, they have been doing whatever is necessary to make ends meet.
Well, they say no more food stuff that's really coming. Sometimes maybe now and then, I don't really know much. And the water, I don't know. But she said they say no more food stuff and things. So whoever walk in, buy, you know, like rice, not rice, chicken, and things, and we just cook, make little bakes and things. We have some more like flour and thing, we have some inside it still. So we're trying to cope with whatever we have, try and make it. I never feel comfortable. I'm just trying to cope now and trying to go down and clean around it now because the government said they'll build a house, so waiting very tough. I need to go, get a place to go. Tough.
In response to the residents' claims, coordinator of the National Disaster Management Agency, Terence Walters, told the news desk, and I quote, "NADMA has not made any such decisions. The agency continues to provide the necessary aids to all residents within the shelters." Unquote. Many residents are also calling on the authorities for assistance so that they can attempt to make the situation as comfortable as possible, as the lack of proper shelter is making their recovery efforts even more difficult. Rena Thomas, GBN News.
We now bring you these international reports.
Continuing coverage from both Lebanon and from Israel on the latest escalation between the two countries, which is causing serious concern not just here in the Middle East, but around the world as well. Whether or not these attacks by Israel deeper into Lebanon are having any impact on Hezbollah's ability to strike targets in Israel. I just want to give you an idea of the difficulties that are being experienced by people, and particularly in hospitals here in Lebanon at the moment, which already had been struggling before this escalation began. Dr. Hassan Wasni joins us from southern Lebanon, who works as a doctor at one of the governmental hospitals in Nabatea. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Just tell us, if you would, what you have been seeing and the kind of people and injuries you've been treating over the last 3 days.
Yes, thank you for asking. It's from Nabatea. It's a governmental university hospital. At Nabatea, we are the central hospital and the governmental hospital in South, especially in Nabatea. The health system now in the South Lebanon is dire, with over than hundreds and hundreds of fatalities and martyrs and injuries, and many people started Monday till now. It's just 10 minutes before you calling. It had a track here. It's at 30 meters from the next close to the hospital, to the parking of the hospital. Many cases, at many, more than 300 injured, wounded. More than 30 people died.
I just wanted to take a moment as well to reflect on another issue which is increasingly becoming a concern for governments, is how they will actually manage to get expats out of Lebanon if this conflict continues, and particularly, as we've been seeing over the last few days, if commercial airlines stop flying to the airport here. The UK and the US government have both called on their citizens to leave while there is still a limited number of flights running. Hamish de Bretton-Gordon joins us, who has been involved in this kind of evacuation before. And Hamish, we've seen Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, once again reiterate that call to leave. We know that there are British expats who are in Lebanon who are not leaving just yet. So how will they be taken out if commercial routes fail?
Well, first of all, the military staffs in the UK will have done an awful lot of planning for this, planned for non-combatant evacuation operations all the time. And when places go hot like Lebanon, those plans are dusted off. In a perfect world, and obviously this isn't a perfect world, if commercial flights aren't available, RAF transport planes that are based in Cyprus, which is only a 10 or 15 minute flight away, would be able to ferry an awful lot of people out of the commercial airport very quickly. If that is not an option, you're then looking at potentially using helicopters, big heavy lift Chinook helicopters, to lift people to Cyprus as well. And then thirdly is the opportunity to actually almost get people off the beaches into Navy ships that are in the area. It gets much more complicated if actually we have to put British troops on the ground to protect those sites that go away, to get people out. But we will be working very closely with the Americans, and I expect the European countries as well, because they'll be getting their citizens out too. I think we're very fortunate that we have Cyprus so very close with two big military bases there, and no doubt with embassy staff still in Beirut being able to control these things. So it can be relatively straightforward, but if things go really badly, it can get even more difficult. So I'm sure the Prime Minister is absolutely right by encouraging people to go now when it's more straightforward than actually having to fight your way out. But we've got a lot of experience. Remember last year, Britain managed to evacuate a lot of citizens from Sudan in Africa, and of course a couple of years ago with Afghanistan. So the only sort of saving grace at the moment is Cyprus is very close to Beirut, and we have the troops in position ready to go if required.
And as we were touching on there, of course, the geography is part of the difficulty here. As you say, it's fortunate that Cyprus is close by, but it means that land routes, of course, to the south to Israel or to the east to Syria, they aren't an option for people to leave of their own accord. You really are talking, in terms of civilian routes, only about the airport.
The surrounding borders are not easy at all. The terrain is very difficult. So I am sure if people want to get out, they need to listen to what the British Embassy and others are saying, get to the airport. And I'm sure that if required, the British military will be up to the task of recovering those people who want to leave, even if it does get really, really dangerous, which let's hope, and we're all praying that it doesn't.
Donald Trump has pledged that the US would take other countries' jobs if he returns to the White House. He's laid out his plans to slash taxes, lower energy costs and regulations for manufacturers that make goods on US soil. At a campaign rally in Savannah, Georgia, Trump promised a manufacturing renaissance, reiterating his pledge to punish American companies that manufacture outside the US and slap large tariffs on foreign-made goods to protect US industries.
Not only will we stop our businesses from leaving for foreign lands, but under my leadership, we are going to take other countries' jobs. Did you ever hear that expression before? Have you ever heard that we're going to take other countries' jobs? It's never been stated before. We're going to take their factories, and we had it really rocking 4 years ago. We're going to bring thousands and thousands of businesses and trillions of dollars in wealth back to the good old USA.
Meanwhile, his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, is expected to give a speech setting out her vision for the economy. It is a key area for voters, with the polls showing that they are consistently favouring her election rival Donald Trump when it comes to stewardship of the economy, although she has gained some ground in this area recently. Well, let's unpack this with Terry Haynes, political analyst with Pangea Policy. Good to have you on the programme. So, Terry, talk us through what Donald Trump was saying at this rally last night.
Most of what this is a direct appeal to swing voters in swing states, people who are undecided. But think about it as the effect of the debate over whether or not U.S. steel should be bought by Nippon Steel or not. American pride, reshoring not only American industries but American jobs, that sort of thing. Things that are designed to pump up a base that already is pro-Trump. And Trump's strategy in those swing states, frankly, is to try to get so much enthusiasm from people that are already for him that they overwhelm the enthusiasm of Harris voters in those states.
Will the counter-argument to that of 20% tariffs on all goods coming into the US, that will lead to inflation, that will hurt businesses who pay for components from overseas, that kind of thing, will that wash with those voters, do you think?
I think it probably won't. You have to remember, too, that you and I would talk about American economy from a basis of talking about inflation, but how people are experiencing that, working class people in those states particularly, really comes down to high prices. And so when there are complaints from economists, from Wall Street, from Kamala Harris about the knock-on effects of all this, that tends to get discounted. What people hear is a patriotic appeal, and what they hear for the first time in a couple of generations, frankly, is an interest in reshoring and invigorating manufacturing. So it's got some appeal.
Now, we are expecting more detail from Kamala Harris about what her economic ideas are. She does talk about the opportunity she'll create. What is she going to lay out?
Harris really nibbles around the edges on a lot of things. There are a number of wags who have called this the Oprah election after the American talk show host Oprah Winfrey, who was famous for giving away things in her chat show. And so what Harris wants to give away are things like child tax credits, startup business incentives, first-time home buyer incentives, expressing a lot of empathy with the difficulty of providing and getting housing, that sort of thing. So I think you're going to hear more of that. Harris, at the center of Harris's appeal, really is her own personal experience as a member of the middle class from the time she was a child. And I would expect her to emphasize that middle class appeal in her economic talks this week.
Brown boxes at an undisclosed location in a Washington state government facility is the abortion medication mifepristone.
We need a state that will protect American women.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee's administration purchased 30,000 doses of the drug last year as a federal lawsuit sought to restrict access to abortion medication nationwide. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected that case in June, keeping mifepristone on the market. Inslee said the state will maintain its stockpile, which is enough to supply the state's abortion patients for an estimated 3 years. He remains concerned about what Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump would do if he won the November 5th election against Democratic U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris.
The Supreme Court decision was not definitive in protecting mifepristone regarding the FDA authorization. The court said there was no standing, which leads them later on to be able to pull the rug out from underneath women with the help of Donald Trump. So as long as Trump is on the scene, that risk exists. And so I'm glad that we have that stockpile.
Trump has sometimes taken a muddled position on abortion, including mifepristone, which is commonly prescribed as part of a 2-drug regimen to end early pregnancies. In August, the former president suggested he might be open to directing the Food and Drug Administration to revoke access to the drug if he wins the election, though his campaign later said he would not seek to do so. Inslee said the issue transcends Trump.
This is a long-term threat. Those who want to take away reproductive health for women, they're not going to stop last week, this week, or next week. It is a multi-decadal effort, and we have to continually keep people out of public office who can threaten women in this country. That certainly includes this November.
Protecting reproductive freedom.
Harris and other Democrats have made abortion a central campaign issue this year. A majority of Americans say abortion should be legal in most or all cases, according to Reuters Ipsos polling.
China urged the United States to stop what it calls unreasonable suppression of its companies, including EV makers. Wednesday's announcement came in response to US proposals to ban Chinese software and hardware in vehicles on its roads, which Washington says is due to national security concerns. A spokesperson for China's Commerce Ministry said the US move has no factual basis. They further argued it violates the principles of market economy and fair competition and is a typical protectionist approach. The US Commerce Department on Monday proposed the planned regulation. It would force American and other major automakers in future to remove key Chinese software and hardware from vehicles in the US connected to the internet and navigation systems. China argued the action seriously affects the normal cooperation between China and the US in the field of connected vehicles. Beijing further said it disrupts the global automotive industry supply chain and harms the interests of US consumers. The move would effectively ban Chinese cars and trucks from the US market. There are major concerns in Washington around data collection by connected Chinese vehicles on US drivers and infrastructure, and potential foreign manipulation of vehicles. China and the US have fought over national security concerns, with Washington enforcing strict export bans on semiconductors. Now, the latest proposal is a significant escalation in restrictions on Chinese vehicles, software, and components.
You are listening to the Midday News on WINN FM 98.9. The headlines?
Newly assigned teachers participate in compulsory year-long in-service training. 5 state-of-the-art ambulances are coming to St. Kitts and Nevis in 2025.
St. Kitts Nevis adopts AOSIS call to action. Dengue fever outbreak declared in St. Lucia. Challenges of daily survival become more apparent as residents of Carriacou and Petite Martinique continue to grapple with Hurricane Beryl's aftermath. Internationally, Israel carries out extensive strikes in Lebanon as UK nationals are told to leave.
Thank you for listening.
That was the WINN FM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Cariboury.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basse-Terre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WINN FM.
Good afternoon and welcome to the second half of today's presentation of Voices. I want to say again, my friend Eustace Hendrickson, good afternoon. How are you doing out there? Let me see what you've sent me. Yes, we're going to pause Jamster and give credit to our sponsors before we begin the second half of today's presentation. So just stand by for that. Thank you.
Super Handy Andy and your girl Sachi the Artist with your Super Handy Andy hurricane deals at Hospice Billing Center for the month of September. Heavy duty green polytap was $59.49 now for $44.62. Duracell AA rechargeable batteries was $123.10. Get it now for $92.33. Power Zone work light was $96.96 now $72.72. Display LED glow stick light was $7.56. It's now $6.63. 1 gallon plastic roof cement was $105.56. It's now $79.17. 1 1/4 gallon gas can was $84.53. It's now $63.39. Super Handy Andy with Sachi the Artist with your hurricane deals at Hospice Billing Center for the month of September, making home improvement easy.
Okay, welcome back to our viewers and listeners. Those who were with us this morning, I hope you enjoyed that session where we had a little chit-chat with Ms. Brenda O'Neill, friend of the Federation, travel agent, tour planner, etc., who shared with us quite a bit of experience and her love for St. Kitts and Nevis. We had a couple of calls of appreciation from, I think, a sense of pride, knowing that not only other people have seen what we have seen, but from a different perspective. That appreciation that says to us in St. Kitts and Nevis, you've got a gem that you need to better cherish, protect, and be proud of. Now, I'm going to start the second session with a rather sad note. Shortly before I came to the studio this morning, and I apologize for the break in my voice. I need to get something to, I had a mint here. I've not seen it now, so I need something to suck on. So anybody can help me with a mint or two, that'd be great. So shortly before I came here was at the circus for a short time. And someone mentioned the passing of Pastor Prisca Heiliger of Sandy Point. I said, really? I said, yes, she passed this morning in theater GNF. And sometimes things take a bit to sink in when it hits you so hard and unexpectedly. So I came to the studios, I did an interview with Miss O'Neill, and all the world that's in the back of my mind, just nagging me, this can't be. First off, I didn't know she was ill, didn't have to know. But then after the news, during the news interlude, I made a call to her brother, Othniel Heiliger, one of her brothers, I should say. And he's the proprietor for the OJ's commercial building there on Camps Road. Most folk know it as the Delta service station. And I said to him, there are times there are no words, and he totally understood. So he did confirm in that little conversation that she has indeed transitioned. So I want to extend from my immediate family, by extension, the family here at WINN FM 98.9, condolences to the family of Pastor Priska Heiliger of Sandy Point, who sadly passed away this morning. And though I'm not sure about the details of her passing, in speaking to her, one of her brothers, he did confirm the passing of his sister, which will be sadly, and I dare say more intimately missed in that small community of Sandy Point, where she's very much beloved. But I know on a national scale, she's recognized as being a church and community leader. And there will be shockwaves across the nation. Powerful. I know her. She's one of my neighbors that we grew up together, more or less. I'm, of course, more advanced in age than she was. So I know the entire family. I know Othniel, I know Omar, I know Percy, I know the whole crew, the parents, etc. So this is somebody that you know and that you watch develop into the personality that she became. Now I can say, and people understand what I mean when I say they all came from a Christian-based family. Her parents built a church. Her father was a builder, a contractor, and Mr. Heiliger, along with his sons, etc., they built that church there on the main in Sandy Point. For those who know, next to Stanchijak and the standpipe there, they built that church. And that's how they grew up, the entire family. The father was a preacher, the mother was a preacher, brothers and sisters, etc. And so the time came, I think in the last 2 years, where she was able to acquire a piece of land in a different location. I would say within a half a mile, maybe a mile of where the church was on the main, and built a brand new church. To the point, if I step out of my studio, I would hear when they're having service, I would hear the band over there playing, and wow, Priska's church, because she's known throughout as Priska, her church. And the admiration is there for what she did with that family church, taking it over and expanding by building a much larger church off the main road in a much better suited location. In the midst of all that, I'm driving by a house on my way to work, etc., not seeing her, not even thinking about what's going on with her. But recently, over the past week, I had occasion to put something in place where I was thinking that I can offer her a slot on radio between 5 and 7 in the morning, and I know she would love it. To have her own platform, to be whatever you want to call it, praise and worship or morning devotion, that's a popular name, etc., but that would be her slots. I did not speak with her about it, but I knew it's something that she would love, having a platform at least every morning to do what she does best. Preach, teach, sing. Early morning prayer. Taking it for granted. because I just figure, yes, it's okay. And then only to hear within the past 2 hours that she has indeed passed. So once again, from my family to the Heiliger family, from WINN FM to the Heiliger family, and for those who knew and loved her, and you don't say love her because it's continuous. May her spirit, her soul rest in eternal peace. As with my mother's passing, when my family was all broken up and crying here and there, I was thinking, my mother died serving the Lord, the God she chose. And so there was really nothing to be sorry about. She lived a wonderful life, and she died serving the God she chose and loved. In the case of Prisca, I may dare say, she lived the life, exemplified by example, and there is no doubt in anyone's mind, anyone who believes in the Christian faith and the hereinafter, that they would question whether or not she is going to be with her Lord and Savior, the God she served. So there's, as we can say, blessed assurance in that particular case. Now, we've heard remarks and you hear, well, near the church, far from God. Not in her case. She lived an exemplified life, set by examples that anyone who didn't really follow will be guilty, because it's Prisca doing the thing. And so there's that assurance that would bring comfort to her immediate family, friends, loved ones, church members, that it will be a rejoicing, a sad moment when someone that's near and dear to you, impacting you in such a level, when they pass it on. You must feel, as we say, away. You must feel. You're human. But there's that sense of rejoicing after the sadness that she has transitioned to be with her Lord and Savior. On that note, as I said to her brother, there are times that you're left for words. Things just hit you. And until it hits you this closely, you don't really appreciate it. But those of the Christian faith, those who are believers, will rejoice, as they would say, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So on that note, we once again send condolences to the family, the Heiliger family, on the passing of their Prisca Heiliger, Pastor Prisca Heiliger, who transitioned this morning. All right. I don't have any guests due, so we'll just keep the lines open and hope to continue with discussion on any topic anyone wants to introduce. And we'll take it from there. I want to thank those who made their input this morning. It's good to have that discourse, and we have a call as we speak. So good day, caller, you live on Voices.
Good afternoon,
Sister
Socrates.
Yes, how are you? Welcome.
Life is straight. Mr. Wilshire mentioned on ZIZ early morning prayers.
Yep.
That she was in the hospital. And I've been praying up to this morning, I said, I wonder what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I must send condolences, especially to Sammy.
Yes.
Sammy and I worked together at one time to Barbados on a workshop in statistics and fishing.
Fisheries, yes.
So
you got the fisheries
close.
complex. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I just say we don't got to worry about it, but I was so impressed. I don't remember Donna Harbert from Up the Alley.
Of course.
And Tinkit, Patricia Gomes.
Mm-hmm.
Those were two of my co-workers. I used to tell Tinkit and y'all need to give your heart to the Lord, One day Donna came and said, Miss Henry, I went to church, and I get saved.
I'm into that.
Next thing you know, she developed lupus and died young,
Mm-hmm.
Donna died, I show in her early 30s. Tinkett got married and everything and died. She died more or less suddenly, both of them young.
Wow.
And I said, boy, so I went to Miss Heidegger, Sister in church.
Yes.
And they were members. You know, so I said, boy, at least she was able to relieve some of my stress. Because when I learned that Tink it died, I was in shock. You know, so my condolences to the whole family. And what I like about them is the band. They have the band still?
Yes. They play, I mean, I forget his name, but he's on the bass guitar. The family's there. They grew up in that environment. Samuel Heiliger, the father. I think he was uncle to Hugh Heiliger, the politician. One family, etc. He built that church.
Sammy.
Yes, Samuel Heiliger, tall. Well, you see the height.
I've never known him, you know.
Is it the height?
I know Heiliger father.
Which one?
Heiliger father.
Yes, okay, Jimmy Heiliger. Well, Jimmy Heiliger from Downing Street and Samuel Heiliger from up the alley were brothers. You know?
Yeah.
And so...
And she saw well, and she taught at the Sandy Point School.
Yes, I tell you, beloved. There are some persons you don't have that respect for them because you see how they grow and how they emerge in society and how they contributed.
Right.
You know? So there's another citizen in Percy.
It must be a shock, but anyway, that's his life.
It is. But you look at Sammy. You work with Sammy. Quiet, unassuming, professional. That's the family.
Yeah, well, it was him telling me one morning he wake up, he couldn't see.
Really?
Yes, he was blind. He went to Trinidad and I think he had surgery and so. Okay. He went back to work. You know, and I admire them because, as I say, sometimes you try with the children and they just stray away. So, well, Sammy's my friend. And Neil and the rest.
Of course, yeah.
Sammy and I were close.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed the poor family must be in shock.
The family lived it.
I kept saying to myself, she on a medical ward. I said, boy, medical ward has a reputation. Once you go there, you're going in.
Yeah, well, there's a Dr. Astafan, Jamie Astafan. He used to say it. He used to tell people don't go up there because once you go up, you don't come back. You know, but
when you go in medical ward and you're a certain age, call on Jesus.
I see.
Call on Jesus. So to all those who are grieving, the Sandy Pointers, all the Sandy Point children and the parents that she would have taught.
Yep.
You know, anyway, nowadays that is life.
That is life.
So anyway, all we got to do, live good.
I hear you.
Live good with people. Stop carry strife. Some of us holding on to something somebody do us a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Long time, you know. Something you don't even remember. Oh, you remember when you nearly knocked me down? You don't remember? Then I was 3 years old, you know what I mean? And they hold against you. So to Neil and Neil is the oldest, right?
He's the eldest, yes.
The Neil and all of the other Heiligers.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Sandy Point High School children and everything. May God console you and may the rest of us live our life in peace and in love. God bless you.
Live by her example also. Thank you very much for that.
All right.
Anybody who know her and would live by her example, you're good to go. Good to go. We're human and we're going to have issues, but that life was one of example. Anyway, we're at the point where we must pause to give credit for sponsors. We have a caller. In the interim, let's take this call. Good day, caller, 11 voices.
Good day, Socrates.
Good day, sir. How about that?
Blessed in Jesus' name, and greetings to you once more in Jesus Christ's name.
Amen.
The only Savior of His chosen elect sinners to save them from their sin and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, first of all, I would like to say that my condolences and sympathies to Miss Heiliger family,
yes,
and friends and associates.
Appreciate that.
My sympathies and condolences to all of them. Now, secondly, I would also like to say, concerning yesterday, you see...
Yesterday? What happened yesterday?
Yeah, it's concerning Monday. Concerning Monday. First of all, the government needs to come straight and plain with the reason why students have not got back. Students have not got
results.
Got some subjects graded and have not gotten back their results. The government needs to come plain and straight and clear with the people in detail information, because I don't think that the press release that they gave out and that 60 gave out as well, and what I said about the government need to go to 62 since they gave out a press release, I don't think it was enough because it did not say exactly why things are the way they are with the students.
Okay.
So I would like to also say that as well. And thirdly, and I want this to be the last. Now, on Monday as well, when I said, when I gave what I said, why free market capitalism with government at least continually decreasing the taxes, why things get better, and that the other systems, under the other systems, things get worse. First of all, that is what the Bible teaches as the economic system that God has instructed all countries and nations and so to have free market capitalism. And really and truly, the tax system in the Bible is really 100% voluntary because that's the way God ordained it in the Bible.
Taxation in the Bible was voluntary?
As God instructed to be. Of course, leaders who were not godly went against the Bible and instruct their own things.
It can't be voluntary if you're instructed to do so.
No, well, why can't be if God instructed it? That's the way it should be.
But they're not voluntarily. It's not voluntarily done.
It's voluntary. It's voluntary because you are not forced. You are not forced by the government to pay it. Government don't enforce it. So it's just between you and God as to whether you pay it, yes or not. So in that sense, it is voluntary. You don't go to jail, the government don't come and lock you up or shut down your things or whatever. It's just between you and God will deal with you accordingly.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's voluntary. But so what I want to say is that you all said, you and Miss Henry said that, it sounds good on paper.
It does.
But in practicality, it doesn't work. And that is the very absence of the reality. That is the very opposite of the reality. The reality is, all over the world, when government free up the economy, take away government regulations from off the economy, to whatever degree they do so, and when they cut or lower taxes, the economy without any exception the world over always increases, grow, and the poor always end up better off. Poverty cuts. But whenever government around the world add regulations to the economy, give out handouts, carry up taxes, that sort of stuff, which you all recommend. Countries around the world suffer, poverty increases, the poor suffer more. That's just the reality. For example, we have it here in Evening St. Kitts. When the government got rid of the personal income tax, instead the poor became worse off, the poor became better off. And not only that, before the 5,000 environmental tax went on vehicles 5 years and over, the poor man was better assisted in getting cheaper cars.
Young fellow, I agreed with you on that, I said that was a good example.
I know you agreed with me, but at the same time, you still turn around with Miss Henry and say, what I said, so I'm good on paper, but not...
Because sometimes the one size don't fit all.
There is no country that I know of, wherever it cut the taxes, cut government regulations, have not ended better off economically, including for the poor. And there is no country that I know of that add regulations to the economy, that add price controls, including minimum wage laws, which is a form of price control, and that increase taxes and those sort of stuff, that hasn't end up being worse off, including worse off for the poor. So what I said have been demonstrated over and over and over again in reality. And is what you and Ms. Henry saying that has actually, whenever it has been put in operation, has made countries worse off, poor worse off, and that sort of stuff. because what you all advocate goes against the Bible. Anything that goes against the Bible, in the end, is wrong and counterproductive. So I would debate anybody, anytime, that what I said sounds good on paper, but doesn't work in reality. Because I would defend the opposite, because the opposite is what the Bible teaches.
Ms. Henry is an economist. So it would be very, very interesting for you and her to sit, even on radio, and have that debate. I am not an economist. I would love that to hear you, because there are people who love to hear both sides. You make your case, he'll make hers, and then we have, that'd be great. So if that's possible, I'll learn from that.
You see, Miss Henry is very versed in the economic teachings of the world, which is learned by her Marxist, socialist professors. And
you're versed in that of the Bible.
Miss Henry is not versed in what the Bible teaches about economics.
Okay.
So yeah, I would like to debate at any time, any day.
I hope she calls back and we can get to some, understanding as to when we can have this, discourse. I would love to see that, right? Okay.
Yeah, anyone else who think like us.
Okay, appreciate that. We don't have to pause for station break at the moment, so thanks for your call, and be free to call back. Right? Downtown Jamstown.
Found the sound 98.9 WINN FM.
This is your boy, Super Handy Andy.
With your girl, Sacha the Artist.
With your Super Handy Andy hurricane deals at Hostels Billing Center.
For the month of September.
Blackwood Player Flex Tape was $59.20.
No, only $44.40.
100mm 4-inch flash bed was $59.10.
Get it now for just $37.64.
Medium rain suit was $72.
It's now just $54.
13 MHP generator was $41.16.35.
It's now just $30.87.26.
Traffic code 1 gallon white paint was $229.48.
It's now just $172.11.
Super Handy Andy
with Sacha the Artist.
With your Super Handy Andy deals at Hostels Billing Center
for the month of September, making home improvement easy.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA Independence 41 specials for September 19th through October 2nd. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. IGA or Essential Everyday Microwave Popcorn, $7.99. Essential Everyday Cranberry Juice Cocktails, $8.99. Essential Everyday Dry Roasted Peanuts are just $12.99. Breyers Ice Cream, $22.99. Culinary Circle Pizza, $29.99. Essential Everyday Fries, $15.79. And now our very low weekly value deals. IGA or Essential Everyday Salad Dressings, $10.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Cornflakes, $9.99. Essential Everyday Applesauce Bowls, $11.99. Essential Everyday Oats, regular and old-fashioned, $14.99. Arm & Hammer toothpaste, $14.99. Arm & Hammer deodorant, just $8.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
The radio station's so hot, it's cool.
You don't know. You're listening to 98.9.
98.9 WINN FM.
Every day you would hear Yvonne Woodley Pam speak to electoral reform, campaigning for voters' ID, so people can vote fraudulently. Right away Cecil Big Stone would call, he don't want voters' ID at all. Alton DuPont would call to protest, government denied him land to invest, but then the topic turned to power outage, and how people home appliances get damaged. Erasmus would come on the line, telling the nation everything fine.
Yes. You reminded me of a line in that song where we reference the late great Rock, Cecil Rock. I didn't want to be sued, so I called him Cecil Big Stone. A rock and a big stone. Yeah, you understand? We had a good time, we had a bad time, but Calypso, of course, spoke to our people. So yes, we are 6 minutes past 1, and it's part of today's presentation of Voices. It's the 25th day of September, and there are many who have kept their fingers crossed because we're still in the midst of the Atlantic hurricane season. And by various reports, we've seen tracking of systems going to this place and that place and that place, and we in the cradle of the Caribbean are still enjoying a level of, I would say, peace of mind and security, hoping that nothing untoward happens to us in this neck of the woods, being dependent on tourism. Speaking of which, I'm told that the icon of the seas is experiencing engine trouble. Brand new ship. And they can't figure out exactly what is the problem with it. It was due here, I think, on the 28th, and it's cancelled because they're having engine problems. So we'll see. On the 2nd of next month, there is the start of the retraining for taxi drivers. I think it's from 8 to 3:30. They ask to attend. It's actually mandatory. And as I reference to Ms. O'Neill this morning, there are those who figure they don't need it. It's for the younger people who just coming in. I think retraining is very important. Same way you have to have your vehicles inspected periodically, just to make sure you can up your game. Helps you keep it sharp. And there's nothing wrong because there's always something that you can learn. There are questions you can ask and find out things that you didn't really know. In that shared space, you can, have a good discourse. Let's take it to the phone lines. Go to call you live on Voices. Yes.
Good afternoon, Greg. I love Greg,
Mm-hmm.
I wish there were more kitchens and division like Greg.
Hear you.
Greg does the research.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing for Greg looking on his side, he don't get he on one side. You understand? He's a libertarian. So I don't know how we can get some of the benefits of the market. Now,
go ahead.
somebody block off my nose. In the island, about the results. Sometimes if the same thing happen in other countries, sometimes it's a matter that somebody, some teacher or somebody, give them the paper. There's a possibility of the person who was marking that set getting sick or didn't finish. But the truth is, sexy knows and the government knows. So you might as well, because it might have hindered some students, because maybe the subject that they weren't graded in was required to get into the college. I think CFBC said to give them a pass along. Well, what happened if when it comes to fail, they had to take off the uniform? You understand?
Yes. It's a sensitive issue.
No. What you said?
It's a sensitive issue.
But it happened all the time. Look, one time in Guyana, whole such a thing they had to bump because the teachers them were marking the SBA, and when they questioned how come so many children passed, they discovered that some of the children did not even finish the SBA. But the teacher, it was half done, and they were given full marks.
Okay.
Sometimes it's things like that. When they look at the work, and they look at the marks that were given, or they look at the thing and say, well, there's the bell curve, many statistics. There's the average, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most things cluster around the average. If you notice, well, look, the children are accustomed to get maybe 20% pass, and the next year 100.
Disparity.
I mean, you understand?
There's a wide disparity.
Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as that. And when there is a wide disparity, then the investigation starts.
Yes.
That's why that in Guyana, a whole set of them had to either do over or they didn't. They just scrapped the mark. Because while some children did their work honestly, teachers were intervening to help our children, which while I think they're doing them good, they're teaching them to be dishonest.
Yes. But in the real world, they can't really function. They don't have the stats.
Sometimes you hear them say, "Oh, I have a degree," and you say, "Well, would you buy it yourself?" You know what I mean? Sometimes some people, you wonder which school they really went to. Well, I have my master's, and they don't even sound like a CBC student. It makes you wonder, So the quicker that the CXC
board
gave the government the truth, are willing, because look, whatever it is, the government didn't write the exam for the children. You understand?
I understand.
The matter is between the school and the students. And if teachers were cheating to help children to pass, it will come out. If not here, then when they go, you will hard, I don't know why it's hard. But once you put your foot in that institution, you better know something. Now, this thing about the teacher training.
Yeah, go ahead.
Big advertisement, they're going to have year-long training. That was the norm. You did 2 years in service before you go to college. So it's a good thing, because when they just give you 2 weeks training to get you into the teaching profession, and then
has to be follow-up
after that.
Has to be tons of follow-up.
I'm telling you, I remember I got in that way. I went to the training, the summer training pass, and I went to teach. And I had an experience with Ada May. She was a school inspector for Trinity School.
Miss Edwards?
Yes. You remember Ada May?
Of course, Ada May Edwards.
She was a terror.
I liked her. She was also the editor for the Democrat at one point.
I tell you why I said so.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she helped me. So she came one day. I was teaching down in Trinity School. I used to teach in the kindergarten grade 1 building. And Miss Earl, who was the head teacher, asked me to help out in grade 2 or 3, something like that. So one day I was there teaching during the phonics, The man tell me, Miss Annie wanted to hold on here for me. Ada May came that day to inspect and asked me, "Why are you teaching the children that?"
You mean phonics?
Eh?
Phonics?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me why. I tell her, Miss Earl asked me to do it. Yeah. And from that I learned, find out what you're doing when you're preparing your work. Because you can learn to teach from 2 weeks. Children different, schools different, areas different, So I'm glad I did. Later on, I started, when I was at girls' school, I started the first year, they were called intern. You go every Tuesday, and they give you lessons in school class management, topics, presentation, techniques and so.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize that all the time you were just wasting time, you go on to college, so. And then, in first year, I went straight, I didn't do second year, I went straight to full-time. And I learned child psychology, something I really did not study.
You could not get it in 2 weeks training.
Eh?
You could not get all that in 2 weeks training.
No. For example, you still have to teach like to beat and punish and so.
Mm-hmm.
When you do child psychology, you learn that certain behavior is expected or the norm at certain ages. So you're expecting a 5-year-old child to do like somebody in grade 6 or something. Then you begin to understand there are different ways of dealing with children. Once you what I mean?
I'm following you. Makes sense.
They're going to start it, eh?
What you say makes sense.
It makes sense. And they say it's compulsory, some teachers, they're not going to the training and they're not going to school to work. They have to give excuses. So I must compliment the education department for reintroducing that system. And Greg continued to read. Greg is good. Because even though he has got it wrong, he ain't care. He's good.
I would love to moderate the debate with you two, but thank you always.
No. I have some books I must give it, but I mean, just check. Greg would have been a doctor if he had gone to university, you know. I don't know why he didn't go. Greg is brilliant.
He's got a sharp mind.
You could tell us why he didn't pursue further education.
He's got a sharp mind. He's got a sharp mind and he's dedicated to his purpose.
Yes.
Can't be
genetically intelligent.
Okay.
Anyway, he and Trump will sort it out. All right then, Greg.
All right, have a nice one, and thanks again for your contribution. It's now 16 past. We heading down to the closing features of today's program. Wow. I'm still being hit with the Priska thing, but I'll try to get by that because we have a show to continue. 6620989 gets you in on the program. I was going to touch the whole thing with Keon, but I'm going to leave that until I have more information on that, because there are many issues out there that you read of certain things on the various platforms and you wonder, should I go into that? But I keep being reminded of the song, can't substantiate that. Until you can substantiate it, you don't really put it out there. So I'll prepare for that perhaps by Friday and touch that issue with the Keon School and the teachers of staging a sit-out, so to speak. You know, so there it is. So the training that some drivers are complaining about, one of the things they're talking about is the duration. It's normally from 8 to 12, a little lunch, and then there's an afternoon session. But they're now saying that it was some of the taxi drivers who made an appeal for more content, more presenters, so it impacts the time. Some are saying, well, nobody told them about it, and it's really hard to have a person commit themselves for an all-day session, just sitting here with the same thing over and over again. I beg to differ. It's not the same thing over and over. And it's important to sharpen your skills, recognizing the industry that we're in, looking at some of the problems that pop up from time to time. Because best and as well-oiled a machinery or a piece of machinery is, there can be flaws. There can be issues that cause it to malfunction. And then we know in this particular industry, it takes one negative incident to derail the whole thing. It's in industry we have to try our best to husband the best way we can, and the training helps, because at times you see your fellow taxi operator doing something and you don't take it on because it's in your business, and then later on you find out the negative impact of that one incident that you choose to ignore because it wasn't your business affects just about everybody. We are mindful of not being labeled as fast or minding other people's business, but in this industry, everybody has to be diligent. I'm saying diligent. And when you see people who are infringing, doing things that are not really on the level, you can do two things. And I think the best thing to do is to try to pick up the right time and speak to the person, and they probably would appreciate it better than you even to shout at them or expose them at that particular point in time. If that person is the one that decides to be belligerent, they want to hear from you, you can't tell them what to do, etc., and they continue, you have an obligation. One or two things: ignore it totally or report to the relevant authorities, because it is, in fact, impacting your livelihood somewhere down the road. And if people get cursed on the port for saying certain things about other person's behavior, that's okay. Not everyone will be on the same page. Not everyone would react to being told, well, what you did was not right, or, being reprimanded, to use a stronger term. But the obligation is yours to ensure that whatever you do is for the benefit and betterment of our tourism product. We live in a very competitive market around the region. And there are times you would have heard about incidents happening in another territory where the ships would have left there and come here because of that. Because of that. I recall some years ago when CJ Walwyn was here, there was an incident of purse snatching in a certain demographic in the Bastille area. And we were told, or the country was told, that by a certain time, if you couldn't remedy the problem and find the purse, they would not be coming. This took place over a weekend, say Thursday, Friday. Monday morning, I'm at Port Zante, and I watched C.G. Walwyn strolling, got the bag. They were able to recover it and take it to the ship and say, here, we did something about it. I saw that. And they were criticizing, well, if it was a local thing, but it's very, very important to do all that you can to make sure that the guest experience, in terms of their sense of security, in terms of how you respond to incidents, satisfy their concerns, make sure they want to return to St. Kitts. Right? We've had incidents where people who come off the ship and they're telling us they don't want to go to this beach because we're told it's not safe. And we found that it was just crew members on the ships who were even telling them don't shop in St. Kitts, shop in St. Martin. And the relevant authority had to address it. Because the vendors on the ground who are depending on when the ships are in port to make their livelihood, that's a major hamper to them. You know, but in interacting with the guests, they will share things with you that you realize, okay, we can do this or that to make sure the experience on the ground is better, to quell certain opinions. That may not be the right phrase. When people come off with certain things they've been told about St. Kitts, it's your job to husband the industry and explain to the guests, this is not the case, that is not the case, that's not a beach for you to go to. You know? And so we interact with people at a level that challenges you. And this is why I think the retraining course is so very important. It better arms you with information that may come in at a time you least expect it. A question is popped. You don't really pay attention to it, but because you went to the training course and that particular topic was discussed, you're better prepared to address that situation that pops up in you. So I would encourage all taxi operators to vendors. I think they had a session for other tour vendors, but in terms of the taxi operators who interact on a daily basis to attend. There's some who tell you, well, they're seasoned operators. What could they go to learn? And because they don't really operate on the port per se, they don't really go. Some see it will and express the opinion that it's just tourism trying to make money. Because there's a fee, I think, is of $50 you have to pay to attend the sessions. But there are presenters also that has to be paid. There's a lunch that has to be provided. And I would say, man, just get over it. Make the time. Take the time out. And this will serve to better yourselves, give you, sharpen your skill set. Because you can never be too old to learn. And if you listen to some people who tell you don't go, etc., you might find those very persons show up. Discourages you from going, but they show up. And at the end of the day, your certification or your recertification is contingent on you attending these sessions. We go to the phone lines, go to the caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, I am here listening to you.
Yes.
You know, that's ignorance is bliss.
Yes, for some people.
Yeah, they be comfort. They like to say, I don't want to know nothing. I mean, I've come across people in my workplace. Generally, that is for you, and that's for you. Then they discover they can't get the travel because they don't know anything.
There you go.
And it's worse now where people are doing online business. So you don't go to the training and you're getting guests online. And you know how Americans are.
Yep.
What you might think is a little thing, they turn it into a big thing.
Correct.
And just like how the lady would come and sell the place,
Mm-hmm.
they go back and they sell you,
The
just
negative.
you know.
Yeah.
Just you want to destroy people's lives. Sometimes we got to learn to make a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Anything worth having requires sacrifice. So what you lose in the half the extra.
And it's only one day. It's only one day.
You're better suited. You're better. Because some people, what they learn since 1929. That's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
So many, and the world changes so fast. So especially if you know you're exposing yourself, you don't want no retraining. They can keep you back too long and you got. Therefore, you must know when you're making appointments for that day. You keep your calendar open.
But here's what.
It's not going to break you.
It's 5 days of training, but you pick the day most convenient for yourself. You're not going 5 days straight, You're picking one of the 5 days.
Quite to attend the 5, right?
No. But you pick the day most convenient for you.
That's what I say. You do if you make a loss one day, you know what to do, so. Man, you going to make it up. That thing was an ignorant people,
There you go.
I mean, serious. You can't even debate ignorant people because you can't against ignorance.
You can't talk to a big stone.
I recall one day I was coming down by the square, and one of y'all those trucks that y'all have open,
Mm-hmm.
one of them full coming across, and I was about to flag down the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
The fellow was there giving the guests some incorrect information.
Yep. I hear it all the time.
Now the people go back and spread the same thing they get.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody correct them. They lose confidence.
Yeah, well, I heard it out this morning about the flying flowers.
You understand? But you also make an effort to correct it.
Well, I'll
do you all have local handbooks?
Yes, we do. But it's for those who want to apply themselves, there are people who actually do ask questions how to better themselves, and this retraining session serves that purpose also.
Yeah, and as you are trying to introduce a new location, the one down Pump Bay.
Yes.
I mean, this place is a lot of history in St. Kitts,
You're telling me?
A lot.
And we get updates because things that you think you know, somebody will come and say, no, that's not the case. This was the case, and that is why you have the, and you learn more all the time.
Yeah, because you might hear it from a friend, that was true, somebody's buying even the leper home.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't down there all the time.
Where was it before?
It was at Fort Thomas.
This is new.
You're serious? I thought I told you already.
This is new. My research spoke about when they picked up My research speak about when they pick up the lepers, they took them to Fort Charles. Charles Fort.
No. That was after they moved them from down Fort Thomas. They used to be down there when the British regiment was there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's where they were at Fort Thomas.
Okay.
And when the British pulled out the regiment, I forget the year, but that is somewhere. They then moved the lepers down there, but even before so, they used to be at Cunningham. Cunningham was the poorhouse, the leper home, people who were poor. You understand what I'm saying?
Sister Henry, we're going to have to continue this.
Yeah.
We are out of time, and this is good information for folks to have, so thank you once again.
You can check it out. They wasn't down there all the time.
Okay, thank you once again for that, and we'll continue hopefully on Friday morning. And Jamster wants to know if there's a difference between Charles Fort and Fort Charles. There was a Fort Charles in Old Road. That was the first one. when they went to build the one, what you used to call Clever Hill Fort, it was funded by King Charles II. So they named it after him, Charles Fort. The French built Fort Francois on the bluff just in Fig Tree, because there was a demarcation line between the Pump Bay and Fig Tree, right? But when the British took it over, they renamed it Fort Charles. So there was 2 Fort Charles and 1 Charles Fort. But Fort Francois was the one that the French built on the side in Fig, where you had Pump Bay. Huh? Well, that is why we have to educate you on your country. A lot of folks who have come to St. Kitts, they know more about St. Kitts because what we share with them, that the average Joe walking around, they're folks who have never been to the fortress. They're folks from St. Kitts who have never been to Nevis, vice versa. But that happens. But it's past time, and we had a most wonderful discussion this afternoon. So we ask guys to join us once again on Friday morning for another presentation of Voices. See you then.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9